Yo, Nation, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Here's the situation. We know for a 1,000% fact that football is a man's type of sport. It's a battle type of grind, right? Nevertheless, one of the greater coaches that we had for the Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson, he was speaking to some of the college kids, and he was just talking about the impact of fatigue makes cowards of us all, right? And he went into the storyline, and let me just play the clip. Not able to show you guys the video, but just the audio so that you guys can get what I'm saying.
You know, I think there's a misconception about football. People think that football is for tough guys. You know, tough guys. Well, football rewards the guys that are in great condition. That's when you have fun.
Yep.
When you're kicking somebody's ass and they're sucking for win. There was a great coach one time says, fatigue makes cowards of us all. What if I walked up to you and said, you're a coward? You're a coward. You wouldn't like it, would you?
You wouldn't like it.
But that's the reality of it. When you're tired, you make mistakes, you don't do what's right, and your will to win all of a sudden starts to waver just a little bit.
True.
You get tired, and all of a sudden you don't have that same fight. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. All of us, me included.
There you go.
I guarantee you, when I was on that damn TV show and I hadn't had any sleep, and I hadn't had any food, and bugs are biting on my ass, I wasn't a big tough guy. I'm saying, what the hell am I doing here? Fatigue makes cowards of us all. If you're in great shape, if you can run like a deer, at the end of the ball game, you're going to be smiling and having fun. And let me tell you something, guys. This is going to be the greatest time in your life. I used to sit in this same ass room. I'd look at the schedule. And I'd say, God, oh, I can't wait till Oklahoma comes in here. I can't wait till Florida comes in here. I want to kick their ass.
There you go.
And that's what you should feel. This is why you came to Miami. That's why you wanted to be a Hurricane. But you can only do it if you're in great shape. And if you're not sucking for win at the end of the game. And when you look across the way and that guy is hanging down, he is a coward. He's a coward because he's tired. Don't be tired.
Now, that's where you play through the echoes of the whistle. That's what coach need to be telling these defensive guys. And I'm not saying that these guys are not able to elevate themselves. We only seen 4 weeks of football. We won one of the games out of the 4, right? So we 1-3. The first quarter of the season, we can say, hey, we lost that, right? We only won 1. But we got to figure this thing out because now we're going into the second quarter of the season, and we just got to play full out. That's just the reality of it. Now, I do know that there's growing pains. There's situations where we may say to ourselves, this guy's trash, that guy's trash. But we got 12 more games. 12 more of them. And it's up to these guys to let this soak into their mental so that they can go out there and say, hey, man, that first month, man, it was really crazy for us. We got a new coach on the offensive side of the ball. We got a new coach on the defensive side of the ball. We're trying to pick up a new system, a scheme. We lost every game that we were really thinking that we was going to be able to be in outside of the Atlanta Falcons game. One could argue and say, hey, if it wasn't for a watermelon type of kick, we'll be 0-4. Let that sink into your mental. So now what this team is doing, we're building the plane while it's in the air. Everybody can actually see that. Yes, it looks like everything is grim. I recall, and I hate to use them as a reference, but the 49ers, their first year with that particular coach, let me know what their record was, right? Nobody without the 49ers visions or the Homer vision thought that they would be in the Super Bowl, although they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they made it. Now, I do know that we as Cowboys Nation, We don't have that type of patience. We want to go to the Super Bowl now. We looking at everything now. It don't work that way as well. Now, reports and news and stuff out there is that LVE is making a comeback. He's out there practicing with full pads and things like that. Now, one thing I do know that time, we got to give it time. Will he be the Band-Aid or will he be the end-all for the Dallas Cowboys on this defense? No. Makes my face ball up. No. Even he got to go through some growing pains with this new philosophy on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I do know that we got some people over here that will look at this thing and say, you know what, Cowboy Nation, let's just get rid of this guy. Let's get rid of that guy because, quite frankly, you can see that this will not be the solution for the 2020 season. We might as well get ready for the 2021 season. Well, let's see how this thing play all the way out before we can make those type of assessments, dare I say. We do. We flat out got to sit back, watch this thing unfold. Now, we playing against the Giants. Then from the Giants, we play against the Cardinals. Then from the Cardinals, we play against, I believe, the Washington team. And then from the Washington team, we play, I want to say the Steelers. You guys can correct me. But here's the situation where we got to at least stack on some type of consistency, get on some type of groove, get on some type of level of understanding where we need to be at with the ball. Even if it's Ezekiel Elliott, even if it's Dak Prescott, understanding and knowing that, hey, I can't give the ball up. And I know I said that exact same statement in my last video. We can't just be sitting back, okay, knowing that the defense is struggling and getting more pressure on the defense by adding more fuel to the fire. We can't do that, Cowboy Nation. We can't. We got to figure out how to play complementary football. We building this plane while it's in the air. Everybody knows that, right? But we got to understand, too, focus on the things that you can control. Oh, Lord, what can I control? Well, you can control the health factor. What Jimmy Johnson just said, fatigue makes cowards of us all, right? Cowards. Now, that's back in those days. I guess in this 2020 season, 2020 year, they won't be using coward words, right? They be using the other words. So what would it be? Fatigue makes of us all. You can put that word in there. So what I'm trying to say is, Cowboy Nation, these guys, Xavier Woods, I know he get the brunt of all of this because he the one brought it up. And I seen the people that was actually making excuses for him. People that's making justification like, yeah, he do got a point. But I want to know this, Cowboy Nation. When the last time you heard Michael Jordan say, hey, I'm tired? I'm waiting. When the last time you guys seen or heard back in the days when Emmitt Smith had his shoulder separated, almost torn off the joint? When did you guys ever hear, hey, I'm banged up, I can't go back out there, coach? Michael Irvin, when he battling through his warts or what have you. And some extracurricular activities, you know what I mean, right? They didn't have those excuses. Same football field. Matter of fact, it was rougher during that time frame because you can actually hit when you go across the middle. Same field. Same time. Nothing changed. That's the craziest thing of it all. Nothing changed. If anything, it got easier for you in the NFL. Better padding. You know what I'm saying? More cushion. Less tour days. If these guys think they're tired now, boy, if you can go into a time machine and go back into the days, man, the first person to get water used to get talked about. But I do know that we know more about water and health and these sorts of things. But back in the days, baby, oh my goodness, these guys talking about learning something new in a scheme, situational fit. and on top of that, they talking about they're tired. Oh my goodness. They used to say this and they still say it. Coaches will still say it. And I used to say it too when I was leading my team. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Pain is weakness leaving the body. That's the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. So in other news, too, Tyron Smith, it's going to be a yo-yo situation with him. You know, it just depended on which week. You know how you slang that yo-yo goes up and down? And hopefully, you know, when he's up, he's ready to play. And when he's down, we figured it out. You know, Brandon Knight did a hell of a good job when he was in there. Not going to say we didn't miss a beat or what have you, but he did a hell of a job. I like his skill set. I like what he brings to the table. I love the fact that he was able to stand right into the gaps and say, hey, coach, put me in. So I do like those portions and those factors of everything. But we in trouble. We can't go on and on and on with this for next year. Hey, it's like this, and I always like to bring out analogies, right? You see those cars that have an oil drip that's dripping everywhere? Eventually, you're going to have to change it out. You can continue to put oil in there, but eventually you're going to have to change it out. If not, it'll just forever be oil all over your driveway. The oil pan leaking. You got to change it out. Got to change it out. You got to pay the piper. And that is what Tyron Smith is. He's an oil pan that's leaking. Oil all over the driveway. It don't look cute. It don't look pretty. The car still look good, but it's just oil everywhere. It's messy. So we're going to have to figure that out. We're going to have to address that. It's old. No, it's old. Let it go. Start putting your money and investing in something else. If not, if you're certain communities, you just got to pay that fine every time they come by. Having oil everywhere. It don't look good. You end up spending more and more and more and more money, more and more resources to keep it, clean and these sorts of things. You end up working harder, scraping out your driveway, scared to pull up in other people's driveway because you leave a mess. That's the reality of it. I wish I can paint it a different picture, but I can't. So with this team, 2020, Mike McCarthy. I've seen people make some great points as relates to, hey, some of these guys still have the Garrett mentality. Some of these guys are Garrett people. And it's hard to terraform, this team. I'm going to use that reference, terraform. You guys remember the movie? Superman when the I guess Kal-El, people came down to the earth. They said, oh, look, we're going to terraform this earth, turn it and change it to, wherever the planet they're from, we're going to change it to this particular planet, That means you got to rip out and change everything. Now, some people have some transferable skills, transferable traits as it relates to football. There's articles out there that I brought up. They was talking about on 105.3 The Fan. Shout out to them, one of the greatest radio stations in the morning to listen to. They were saying, okay, just hypothetically speaking, what do you do in the fashion that we already got good offense? Do you start trying to have the operational plan to trade Michael Gallup? And I'm sitting there like, no, you don't trade Michael Gallup. 5 years from now, Michael Gallup still will be a dog, even better than what he is right now. So I posed the question, and trust me, I'm not trying to get Ezekiel Elliott out of the paint. I love what he can do, especially running the rock, being the sixth offensive lineman for crying out loud. But 5 years from now, if you look at Ezekiel Elliott now, there's no way that he's going to be better than Michael Gallup 5 years from now. We got to start falling in love with players. And I do know that, hindsight is 20/20, but I don't think that nobody would look at Ezekiel Elliott contract and try to take a bite out of that. But shout out to him. So when you're building something, you got to start off with your base. Now, right now, it's shaky with the quarterback because they have not went all the way in on the quarterback, right? This is a wait and see moment. This is what can you do for me now moment with the Dak Prescott situation. Let's just be real with it. This is what is Dak Prescott doing for us right now? Is he winning games? We 1-3. He got all of the good stats right now. But do we really? I'm talking about from an owner aspect of it, from Jerry Wayne Jones's aspect of it? Do they really look at it and say, okay, from this point, we're going to put Dak Prescott on a long-term contract? Because right now, they done already made their bed with Ezekiel Elliott, meaning that he's the nucleus of this team. He got the long contract. He's the, I guess, the end-all, be-all for this team. So either they're going to build from Ezekiel Elliott, or they're going to try to figure this thing out and see how they're going to add Dak Prescott into the piece. Because they looked at it and they said, okay, let's shore off or seal off our right tackle, La'el Collins, although he's not able to help us, right? Oh, let's give the quarterback for the defense, Jalen Smith, a long-term contract. Let's iron that out. And my dog, check him out, Skywalker. He brought up a great point. I was talking to him this morning. He said, look, think about it, Law. On the defensive side of the ball, none of those guys got contract outside of Anthony Get Down Brown and Jalen. Everybody else is like, oh, wait and see. Xavier Woods, he may not be here next year. He may not be here. Cheeto Woozier, he may not be here. He took a bad time to get hurt. I hope he can get back. Worley, we don't know. I forgot how long his contract is, but he brought out those points, Cowboy Nation. So where this team is building, I know we're building the plane while it's in the air, but where are they building, right? Because it's still, I guess, a big old question mark on the quarterback because they have not gave him the long-term situation. And it's a prove me situation at that. Now, the glory of it is that they got this franchise tag that you can do it to them twice. Pay that high premium twice. But right now, they're so scared to make any moves right now. Remember, they move all of that money around before the start of the season. Made me mad because I sit there and told everybody, I said, see, people do what they want to do. If they wanted to do that, if they really wanted to pay Dak Prescott then, they could have been did that. Let me know if I'm lying, right? So now all of the pressure, now everything is on this guy, right? We'll see what this thing is going to uphold or how this season is going to cook out. We got to figure this out one way or another, Cowboy Nation. We do. Now, let me just flip over to Jalen Smith. I commend him. He came out and said, hey, we all got to play better, basically. Starting with me, and I'm paraphrasing. We all got to do better. We're going to pick this thing up. Now, we as Cowboys fans, we used to this lip services right about now, right? We used to it. That's all we've been getting from the Cowboys organization. Lip service. Tank Lawrence talking about F all of y'all, you know. It's funny because we can see him getting all of that tenacity and fighting online, right? But let's see what he's going to do against the O-line this weekend. This, believe it or not, is a must-win game for the psyche of the Dallas Cowboys. This is a moment where we have to look at it and say, yes, this is the Giants, but we got to come in there. It's a home game at that. We got to showcase to the world that, hey, the first 4 games were just hiccups. We were just trying to get the preseason out the way, if we can say it in those ways, right? But now we got to stack things together. No excuses. Look. Everybody can cry to the moon and say, hey, this is COVID years, this is new, that is new. Newsflash. Everybody's granted with 24 hours a day. Most of the people that's out here, they even paid big money. The Browns were faced against the same situation that we were. Did you see them complaining this past weekend? They said, no, we want to stick it to them. So these guys should play angry and upset with a chip on their shoulders because we know they're listening. That's what the young kids do these days. They listen. They turn it on and say, nah, I'm not worried about the outside noise. But be the first one to say, hey, we'll see about it, huh? So we know they're listening. And if I can motivate you from my couch or from my chair, then damn it, I am. I'm going to try to motivate every last one of them. Just like Jimmy Johnson said, hey, this is the reality of it. There was no sugarcoating around, talking around. Man, if we can have that brother in this locker room to talk to everybody. And if I was Jimmy, man, somebody else mentioned this too. I don't believe in curses, though. I do not believe in curses. I do believe in football stuff. But they did mention this. Maybe, just maybe, Jerry is just cursed for the way he treated Jimmy. Now, equally, both of them had big egos, right? Edging God out, right? Putting everything on them, saying that this is what we're doing, right? Both of those guys have big back and forths with each other. But I will say this. You got to put Jimmy Johnson in the ring of honor. I know that the Joneses want to be football guys, but they not. Let's be real with it. Let's be real with it. Stop playing around with me. Stop looking at everything else and saying, okay, he's in the Hall of Fame. They built all of this $1 billion worth of stuff. That ain't football. That's marketing. If you remove Jimmy Johnson from the equation, there's no way that you will think that Barry Switzer would have had that Super Bowl, right, in 95. Don't care who you would have put on there. That team was in turmoil. But they figured it out. The players had to pull resources together and went back to what the original coach taught them. That's influencing. That's experiences. That's pulling from the source. Oh, my goodness. People just don't understand. You see, let me break this down like a fraction. Jimmy Johnson was the source for those Super Bowls in the 90s. Write this down. Everybody else was just resources. Resources. See, the resources pour from the source. Troy Aikman pulled from the source. Emmitt Smith pulled from the source. Michael Irvin pulled from the source. Let that sink in. Everybody else, beyond that point, from that time frame, are just resources. But Jimmy was the source. He was. Regardless of how we look at it. Even to this day, we mention Jimmy Johnson and his philosophy and his way of teaching. We do. Oh, everybody put Bill Belichick on a pedestal. He's a resource. You know where he get all of his sources from? Jimmy Johnson. Every summer, he would call Jimmy up and they go fishing on a boat. And Jimmy would give him all of the sources that he got. And Bill Belichick would use it. He would be the resource and use it and apply it to his team. It took him a minute, right? It took Bill Belichick a minute. And even though, we'll look at it this year and say, well, he don't have a quarterback, but I believe they'll be okay. Because he knows how to go back to the source. See, our issues, we would think that we know what's going on with the organization. And we'll give praises to the resources and not the source. Deep down in the bottom of the hearts of the Jones family, they know it. They know it. Yeah, they know it. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for today. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful time. But I just wanted to put that on your mind. This team, we're building the plane while it's in the air. We got all the time in the day in the world to turn this thing over. We do. We flat out do. It's just that right now, boy, we want to win now. And I don't blame them because we've been left with the stench of Jason Garrett. And Jason Garrett like, yeah, how you doing, guys? I'm ready for you guys, right? But if they allow the Giants to put up multiple touchdowns, and all they've been doing all these first 4 games is 3 touchdowns in 4 games? And all of a sudden they put up multiple touchdowns. Boy, we in trouble. Trouble. But I'm glad that Jalen Smith, he see the light and he said, hey, I'm going to have to step it up, right? So there's still room for growth, Cowboy Nation. There's still room for them to build it up and finish it up. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. I'm out. Peace. Think about it. The sources, baby, the source.